Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below.
Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, this is the Mundane Matt channel, and apparently there's been an upset at IGN today concerning sexual harassment allegations and the fact that Alanah Pearce here said a couple hours ago, there won't be a daily fix today because there's a large group of IGN employees who have refused to work until the company issues a statement or apology regarding what happened to Kallie Plagge, or Plagge, or Plagge. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. So there's that. So this has got to be a big issue, right? This has got to be a big thing. You've got IGN, the largest gaming website, having staff effectively go on strike, refuse to work until the company acknowledges or issues a statement or apology concerning what happened to a girl here named Kallie. Well, what exactly is Kallie's story? Let's find out. This is from her Twitter, where she says, "I can't swallow my anger any longer. The silence physically hurts." Already off to a good start. In 2016, while I was working at IGN, former IGN editor Vincent Ingenito sexually harassed me and another female employee for months. The harassment in my case included uncomfortable compliments, such as "guys don't like skinny girls," "you're perfect," manipulative and abusive comments like "the guy he assumed I was dating are all boys," "you need a real man," and overtly sexual comments such as "when I was your age, I could go all night." He put his hand on her arm, says "I just want one more night like that." After I reported him in June 2016, HR and upper management told me I needed to have better judgment about who I was friends with, making me out to be an equal participant in an inappropriate flirtation. My boss told me not to be uptight about being around Vince and stated on several occasions that he just wanted the unpleasantness to be over. HR insinuated to me that I used my body, specifically my chest, to provoke him. I was asked who I danced with at the IGN E3 party. This was a man who preyed upon me, a young woman 15 years his junior, by identifying my insecurities at work, specifically regarding my recognition for work, manipulating my trust. I was made to sign a document stating that I'd behaved inappropriately on the condition that I'd be fired if it ever happened again. I was forced to work with Vince for another 6 months until I left IGN for my current job. I spent the entirety of those months sick with anxiety, literally to the point of severe nausea every day. I was terrified of further retaliation should I say anything. The harassment and horribly mishandled HR investigation was a major factor in my leaving IGN. I've carried the disgust, fear, and disrespect with me since. To my knowledge, Vince was talked to and basically told not to speak with me, though he continued to walk near my desk, ask me work questions in person, and sit near me in meetings when management was not around. Nothing was done until after I quit, and even then IGN parted with him on good terms. Now, as more and more victims and survivors come forward with their stories, the sick feeling in my stomach has returned. I have a great job with the team that respects and values me. I am safe, I am loved, but I still feel sick. This is not about harassment, this is not just about harassment. This is also about victim blaming and the negative impact on my job as a result. This is a structural problem. To my friends at IGN who have stood by me through those months and beyond, I love you. To Sam in particular, thank you for sincerely doing all you could help me with what you were given. You've all shown me support, and I worry about how the statement will affect you all, but I just can't stay quiet anymore. I hope speaking up will help me heal, as well as help others like me. Thank you for listening to me, Kallie. So that's a damning statement right there. So Vince, she accused him of being inappropriate, of saying inappropriate things, inappropriate touching, and that an HR investigation was in fact conducted, and she was forced to sign a document saying that she had also acted inappropriately, and then HR basically just kind of dissolved the issue. So that would essentially lead, to this particular situation. I can understand that. I can absolutely understand that. But like with everything else, we have to remain objective and we have to also get the other side's story. But the thing I want to kind of point out there is that this is concerning two former employees. So why is the IGN staff here, a large portion of the staff, or a large group at least, refusing to work when the issue is boiled down to two former employees? That's a question, right? But one that was never officially 100% challenged. Apparently, the management knew about it and they were okay with it. But looking over here at Vincent's Twitter, he actually addressed the whole thing in a series of tweets, giving his side of the story, saying here, "The things being said about me by Kallie Plagge, this will likely be long. The first thing I want to say is that I don't believe Kallie is a liar. We were friends once, at least I thought. I consider her one of my only friends at IGN. What I believe is that I overestimated or perhaps misread the degree of our friendship. She would share personal things with me, looking for advice and support, so I thought I could do the same. As it turns out, she thought of me more as a mentor than a friend. So when I say I do not believe she is a liar, I mean to say I believe she felt uncomfortable with our level of friendship, but being younger, perhaps was scared to say so. I have no desire to embarrass her or myself by sharing screens of every conversation as proof. There are legal limits to what I'm allowed to say about the allegations she made against me or the investigation that resulted. What I can say is that prior to making her complaint, I was told by mutual friends and then had it confirmed by Kallie that she felt uncomfortable about the nature of our friendship. As soon as I learned this, texted her an apology, told her I had no idea I had made her feel uncomfortable, but that it didn't matter how. I was simply sorry to have made her feel uneasy. I have screen grabs of our final exchange uploading in which I made this apology, in which case she thanked me for acknowledging her feelings and need for space. She wouldn't tell me what I had done, which is fine, and we left it at that. A week later, the accusation came. I complied fully, though I was never told exactly what I had specifically done to make her feel uncomfortable. Handed over my phone and screen grabs of nearly every conversation we had in prior months. I said I was willing to do whatever it took to make her feel comfortable. After almost 2 weeks of working from home, a resolution was reached, and I was found to have not harassed her. I was asked to change seats to make her feel more comfortable. I was happy to comply. We were both told to keep correspondence strictly work-related, which I did. From that point on, I kept as far away from her as I could. Since I had no idea what exactly I had done, I didn't want to risk upsetting her further. I spoke to her in person for work-related issues once or twice, and by email several times in the months until she left IGN. Despite not knowing how I might have hurt her, I was racked with guilt and fear. Inevitably, we'd pass in the hall, or have to be in a meeting together, and I'd try to stay as far as I reasonably could. Again, I considered her a friend, and I felt badly for this whole thing. All of this being said, I want to make something abundantly clear. I never touched Kallie in any sexual way, unless you think a very occasional hug is sexual. I have never said anything lewd about her or her body, and I've never made advances towards her. Nothing. The only talk of sexual nature that occurred is when she voluntarily shared things of a personal nature to me, as friends sometimes do. I didn't graphically describe anything or force sexual conversations on her or anyone. That is not who I am, nor will or ever will be. I understand the emotion. I understand this will be emotional for many. All I can ask is, please, whoever you believe, do not go dogpiling on her. She doesn't deserve that. No one does. This was a very sad, tense, horrible thing for her, I'm sure, as it was for me. Be respectful and kind, please. I said about as much as I can legally can or care to. Once I get the images of my apology and the last exchange with her up, I will post it for prosperity, and then that will be all. Since this rocked my life and hers, I've thought long and hard on what perhaps I might take away from this to make sure I protect both myself and never inadvertently make someone I respect and care about feel so awful. I hold myself to a high standard and will continue to do so. I hope Kallie and I can both find peace and healing. With one final note, I want to say that no matter who you are or who you believe, no one has the implicit right to trample on anyone's boundaries. Be your best self, and if someone tells you you've hurt them, apologize and be better. That's all I've got. Which I'd say is a very fair statement back. All right, he's acknowledging that there was maybe some impropriety in terms of content or contact made between both parties. He assumed they were friends, didn't realize that he was in a position of power, being 15 years older. She looked at him as a mentor. He felt bad over the situation, and he apologized. It's a far cry from the comments she made, and I'd be more inclined to believe him over her in this regard, which might not make me any friends, and I'm not trying to say that anything horrible happened here, but the allegations that have been made, it feels very odd to me that Alanah here would sit there and say, oh, well, we're all going to go on strike today because IGN done goofed in this situation. Have we hit a listen and believe scenario, or have we, completely gone off the deep end? I think those kind of are mutually inclusive at this point in time. But IGN itself did, in fact, issue a statement over this. Well, not IGN. It's actually a message from the IGN team. This is not written by the IGN management or legal or anyone else. It's from the IGN content team. So this statement apparently is going to be changed with an official one from IGN's management very soon. So until then, this is what we got. It says here, to the gaming and entertainment community, it is with great sadness, pain, and regret that we tell you that IGN has failed two of its female employees, one former and one current, both of whom the team cares deeply about. We are devastated that two of our own have had to live and carry this pain for more than a year. Like, what? Like, what? What? if it was a friendship that got a little bit too friendly and there was a complaint and a 2-week investigation by HR where the male employee had to go home for work from home for 2 weeks, and then when it was over, still adhered to what they had suggested, no contact outside of what's necessary for work, so on and so forth. And it's like, what about his pain? I mean, at all, what about his pain? It appears to me that this is more of a situation involving, you know, mixed signals and everything else, and you know, maybe a misplaced workplace friendship, but again, nothing insanely improper. I just find it to be this falling on the, you know, falling on the sword type situation is just ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to me. If HR handled it, which HR did, a 2-week investigation is not 20 minutes in a jawbreaker. You know what I mean? And then they came to this conclusion after interviewing people and going over everything. It didn't fail anyone. It did its job. It did its job, but even that doesn't matter because this is where it's interesting. When the women made management and human resources aware of the situation involving a now former employee, those women, in the estimation of the IGN team, did not get the respect and care they deserved as IGN employees and as people. That system, plainly put, has failed them. It especially failed them, but it also failed all of us. Did it? It did it? Again, this is the IGN content team, not HR, not their legal department, not management. This is IGN's content team that is that's running this message right now. The people that were, you know, also boycotting work today as a result of an issue from 2016 that resulted in a non-issue, or a resolved issue, I should say, from the IGN HR team. It says, all of us have been deeply wounded by this, though again, our suffering is nothing compared to those of our 2 beloved friends. And this morning we addressed the open wound directly with our management team and human resources representative in an emotional, difficult, and ultimately productive 2-hour meeting where any and all voices were heard. I don't think that is true. In this situation, not any and all voices were heard. If one person was there, it's like, wait, hold on, didn't the situation get handled by HR? Like, they're both not working here anymore. Am I the only one that thinks this is a nothing burger? Like, they don't work here anymore. We have policies in place against this. Don't do it. Don't do it. How about, no. Oh, I'm the bad guy. Okay, throw me out the window. We care deeply about what we do, and we hope our passion for video games and entertainment shines through in our articles, videos, and podcasts every day. But we care even more deeply about each other, and we'll continue to fight to make this right for the past, present, and certainly the future. Any future allegations will be taken extremely seriously, and we are actively working to ensure that everyone on our team feels like they work in a safe environment. We will not tolerate the exclusion or mistreatment of any people. But what about Vince, who effectively is being mistreated if an investigation came back and said nothing happened? Right? Is this one of those situations where you just keep prosecuting somebody until you can get them on something, on anything? You just want to keep hammering them until it's like, well, we got them on jaywalking. We wanted them on rape, but we got them on jaywalking. So I'll take that as a win. Come on. This is the mindset of San Francisco journalists right now. This is the mindset that's been brought on in the last month since Weinstein. It's like accusations that have been investigated, that have been found and resolved, are still a huge problem. But here's where it gets anyway. Here's where it gets to the point of it should make you kind of mad and also make you really kind of slam your head on the desk here. The human resources representative who saw the situation is no longer with the company, and our current HR rep has been transparent and willing to listen to ideas and suggestions rather to create a better work environment going forward. So the HR representative who oversaw the situation isn't with the company anymore. So there's that. It's like, it's a resolved issue. The person's not there. Go on, right? We are aware of the influence that IGN has in the gaming and entertainment community, and we will utilize that to the best of our abilities going forward. And we will continue to challenge our management and human resources teams to fix what is broken. Because if we can't, or if we don't, then IGN will no longer be a place where we're proud to call home as content creators, entertainment consumers, and as gamers. So what it appears to me is that IGN staffers are trying to send a message by striking today, or at least a group of them striking today, in order to have this meeting about 2 former employees, about a resolved incident, in order to make sure it never happens again. And I'm not against that. I want to make sure that in essence that everything, people have safe environments, that they're able to work freely and everything else. But the problem with becoming friends with your coworkers leads to situations like Kallie and Vincent. Lines can be crossed, boundaries can be blurred, and there's never a set definition for that. So what I think my biggest takeaway here is I'm a little bit perturbed with the staff in how they're framing it. So instead of trying to make sure that this kind of thing never happens again, they're going and taking one side over the other and trying to say, well, this person was clearly harassed and HR did nothing. Well, HR did. They investigated it. They talked to people. They said, here's what we've discovered. This is our suggestion for the future. And that's the way they did it. That's their job. And if that person is no longer there, then those policies or that idea can be changed, which is the entire point of the meeting. But it comes across as almost somewhat disingenuous when you break it down about the language that's used and how they did it, so on and so forth. And it's a sad situation because IGN is IGN. And this is, like I said, this is one of the biggest problems of San Francisco being the home base of games journalism. It literally, it just makes for this kind of crap one way or another. Whether it's the accusation or the appeared idea of the implication of an accusation. But it also does show once again that people are more willing to destroy rather than to fix or build, which is unfortunate. So that's just kind of where it's at. But I want to know your guys' thoughts, though, definitely. Do you think that this is a nothing burger? Do you think that they're just guilty of listen and believe? Or is there something there worth fighting for? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Clearly, I've let mine be out there. So, yeah, there's that.
Hey guys, that wraps up this video. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below. I love to read your guys' input. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. If you want to support the channel, there's the Amazon affiliate store, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's Bitcoin. And if you're bored and you want something else to watch, check out 3 Buck Theater up here. My name is Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace out.